Hey guys, this is Techo Freak. Today I'm going to be talking about ore generation in Minecraft Forge 1.16.3. So there's been a lot of confusion on how to do ore generation in version 1.16. So I wanted to go over how I implemented it. As a heads up, I've only been modding for Minecraft for about like 2 months. So I'm not the most knowledgeable. There might be somebody else that could tell you something better, but this is what I have working, and I just kind of want to share it and get you guys moving. So first things first, we're gonna open up our build.gradle file here, and I want to point out something. I'm running on the mapping snapshot of 2020 10/28. This is a date. This is October 10th, October 28th, 2020. Version 1.16.3. If you're not aware what snapshots are and mappings, you might want to look into that. I'll link a video in the description by Technovision, who does a good job going over what mappings are. But in general, what it pretty much means is that some methods might have different names in like future versions, or they might change a name and then they'll have to change it in the Forge code. Just make sure you're aware what that is. If you want everything that I do today to work for you, just make sure that your snapshot version is as follows here, and it could change in later versions. And I'm using Minecraft Forge 1.16.3-34.1.10. Of course, you should be able to use any other ones that's 1.16.3. What's important is this snapshot version. Yeah, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the ore generation now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to generate a new package. I'm going to call it world. Then I'm going to create a new package underneath world, and I'm going to call it where's package? Here's package. We're going to call it gen for generation, and then we're going to make a new class here, and we're going to call it ore generation. We're going to go ahead and hit that. Alright, and I'm going to paste the code for everything I'm doing in the description below, and I will pretty much be copying from it. So feel free to have that open and start copying over some of the code. There are some big blocks that'd be kind of annoying to just have to type up and stuff. So and just follow along with me with the pastebin. So first thing we're going to do is copy the first line above the class here, and it's going to be mod event bus subscriber, and we're going to go ahead and import that there. And the reason we're importing that is we're going to run an event to run a method we want to run during an event when Minecraft starts up to register our ores, and I'll show you that in a moment later when we write the part for that. All right, and what we want to do is at the bottom of that pastebin that I have, I'm going to copy the register method. I'm going to put it here at the bottom of my class here, but it's this part right here. It's called register. And this just pretty much does the registering for the configured features and stuff. So this doesn't really do this is a lot, but you don't really need to mess around with this too much. Let's just import whatever classes we need to import here, and then make sure you replace this part right here with your own mod ID. I'm using my own code as a reference just to show you guys. Mine is, my main class is Elementa, and I have my mod ID right here in my main class. So I'm gonna just import my own class here. Of course, put your own mod ID there. All right, and now next we're gonna want to make 3 array lists. The way I wrote it is so that we can organize all the features we want to add, all the ores we want to generate. So I'm going to copy the first part of my pastebin here, and it's going to be these 3 lines here. So copy that into yours, and I'm going to go ahead and import the array list class here. So pretty much this is just a list of the 3 types of ores we want to generate, and we're going to add our ores to these lists just to kind of keep everything organized. Kind of like if you want to reference it from a different place in your mod, you can always reference it. So let's say you want to check, all right, what overworld ores are there? You can check it that way too. All right, so now next we're gonna make the class where we register the ores. So this one's gonna be called public static void, and we're gonna do register ores. You can call this whatever, but register ores makes sense here because this is where we're gonna kind of register the ores. Kind of, not really. I'll show you guys where that actually happens. This is where we're gonna add it to our list here. All right, and then we're gonna copy something from the pastebin again here. We're gonna copy the first chunk, and I'll paste it here for you guys to see. Leave some spaces around here. So this is the overworld ore register. This is the block that actually adds the configuration for how you want your ore to generate. So we're gonna go ahead and import feature here, import ore feature config, and this should be your own block that you want to put an ore gen for. I'm going to show you guys what blocks I'm going to be putting into the world here. This is from my own mod, of course. I'm going to be adding this nether ore, this overworld ore, and this is not really supposed to generate my mod, but just as an example, I'll show you guys this. This is just a block I'm going to have generate in the end. So these are the 3 ores. This is called Neutralis, this is called Flame Crystal, and this is called Air Crystal Block. So you don't have to do yours, of course. You can do something like let's do like blocks dot iron block, for example, and you want to make sure you do dot get default state. To get the default state of the block you're gonna be putting into the world. But we're gonna put my block. I have my blocks registered in the class registry handler blocks. It's called Neutralis ore, and I'm getting the block, and then I'm getting the default state of the block. To show you guys just what my registry handler blocks looks like, this is it right here. It's just a deferred registry, and then I have the ore right here registered in there, so nothing crazy going on here. Yeah, so just get it from your block, get your block and get its default state, and you put it here. Next is going to be the vein size. So I want a vein size of let's do 8, just so we can kind of find it easily. And this will generate up to 8 veins, up to a vein size of 8. So for the range in here, this is at what height the ore should start spawning at. We're going to leave it at 64. 64 is the same height as iron, that iron generates at. So I'll make it kind of easy to find. Square, I believe, is just in what shape the ore should generate. So we want it to generate in the square. And then the last one, this is what I was talking about, like an unmap function with a snapshot and everything at the beginning of the video. So this doesn't have a name just yet. In a future mapping, it might have a name, most likely. But this is pretty much just the chunk spawn frequency. This is about how many of your ore should generate per chunk. We're going to change this to, let's do 64 to make it easier to find the ores. And yeah, so it should generate 64 veins of this stuff inside of every chunk. All right, and then next, that's pretty much all you need to do for that part. Next, we're going to do nether ore. So let's grab the next section here from my pastebin. And this one is going to be the flame ore I was talking about. So I'm going to give it a name. I think I skipped over this part. You got to just give it a name. This one doesn't matter so much. It doesn't really have to do anything with how it's displayed. Just kind of like to reference it in the registry if you needed to get it from the registry. Yeah, so now this is where I want to explain another thing. So let's add the next line here for the end. And again, this is on the pastebin. So I forgot to copy this line, so let's just add it here. This is end or register. And now this is where I'm going to talk about this part right here. It's or feature config.fillerblocktype.netherrack. So this is the block you're going to be replacing, or not replacing, but is where your or is going to be generating in. So I'm gonna, again, from my pastebin, I'm gonna copy a few lines here with a description of what these mean. So in this case, we did a filler block type of base stone overworld. And base stone overworld is pretty much for generating your ore inside of stone, granite, diorite, and andesite. For netherrack, it's this one right here. It's ore feature config filler block type.netherrack. And now for the end stone one here, we're going to import this class here, block match test rule test. So what we're pretty much doing here is we're seeing if a block matches what we're looking for, and we're doing end stone here. So if we want to generate this in end stone, so we're doing so from the actual Minecraft blocks, if you're not aware, this is from an actual Minecraft block, we're getting end stone. We're gonna, if we find end stone, we're gonna generate in end stone this block right here, air crystal block. And then here you specify the same stuff as before. Vein size, I'm gonna do 8. I have the height here set higher because it's the end, and some of the blocks are higher. I don't know exactly where. I think it's 64 actually that the island starts spawning, but we're gonna do it higher just so we have that. And then this bottom one, same thing, spun chunk frequency. You could replace this part right here with anything. So I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to paste it right below, and I'm going to generate, let's do, okay, so let's do, I do have another generation here called earthy deposit. This I wanted to generate inside of dirt, and not grass dirt, like just regular dirt. What we do is replace this part here, and we'll copy this part right here, the new block match test rule test. And if the block is dirt, we want to generate inside of it. So we'll do dirt. And then I do have a block that generates in this one. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it right here. So it's this one right here. It's like gravel, but it's like dark. I wanted to generate in the world as well. So we're going to do, we'll remove this, and we're going to do registry handler blocks. We'll get my ore here. So it's going to be the earthy deposit. We'll get the block, and then we'll get its default state. And yeah, we'll do, again, just to find it easy, we'll do vein size 8, range, we'll start it. Remember that the surface is higher than 64, so we're going to put 128 for the generation height, so we can actually get it generating. I believe as of right now, the highest point of any block in the game is 128 for like mountains. I think this might go up for the newer version of Minecraft 1.17 that's coming out. They're doing the caves and cliffs update, so this might actually be higher in the future. But for right now, I think 128 is the max. Yeah, so we're going to generate this block inside of any dirt, any large features of dirt that generates. All right, and then with all that, we pretty much got all the ores added that we want to test with today. Again, we just added these to our list here, and now this is where we're going to actually like register the ores with the game. So you want to go ahead and copy the next portion. This is a little bit of a big section here. So I'm going to copy it and paste it below. here, and let's go ahead and just import all of this stuff. Import. All right, and now let's just run through this. So we're getting a biome loading event when the game's loading biomes. We're getting the event here, and then from the event we are getting the generation that's happening. And then here, now that we have the generation, we can start adding our own generation. Of course, none of this you really have to change. I've kind of got it all done for you here. But I will run through it just for your own education. So first, we're checking to see if the event category that we're in right now equals the biome category Nether, and if it does, then so we're running through our list now. So you see up here we have the list of nether ores. So we're gonna go through that list of nether ores that we have, which we registered here, and we're gonna add every single one to the world. So first thing we check is just make sure that there's no empty parameters inside of that inside of this array, this list. And if not, then we'll go ahead and do we'll do generation with features. So we're going to add a feature here, and generation stage decoration. So we're going to decorate the block, and we're going to do underground ores. And then for ore, it's gonna be what's in that list. So again, this is not anything you really have to concern yourself with. All we're doing is just running through every ore in that list and generating it into the world. And then we're doing the same thing for the end here, so category the end, and again same thing here for the overworld ores, and that's pretty much it for all the generation. Again, this is not anything you really have to touch, but although if you did want to do a specific kind of generation, you could copy, like let's say you wanted to generate a specific biome, you could do that here. So you could do the same check here, like if event.category equals, and then we do like biome.category and then you have all the categories you can think of here. I don't think the Nether has any specific categories. I don't think there's any specific biomes like that in the Nether, although I'm not 100% sure on that one. But you could do ocean if you only wanted to generate in the ocean, plains, river, savanna, swamp, taiga. You could do it. You could change this yourself. Of course, this is just for generation, the main three places. But if you did want to generate in the ocean, you could make another list here and do ocean generation or whatever. Call it like ocean ores or something like that, and then just add a new line here as well. Under here, just copy this and then change this from the end to ocean, and then just go through your, and then it'll go through your list of ocean ores or whatever. So there's a little room to play around with it. Again, I just have a basic implementation of just the three main ore types. So now this is all done. Now to actually get this to work, we're gonna go to our main class, and we're gonna call it from our main class. So you want to find in your main class the private void setup method here, and we're going to put a line ore generation. So that's the class we just made. We'll do dot register ore. So that's that class we made. So we're calling that class we made in ore generation right here, register ore, and that's going to register all our ore for us. And that's it. So one other thing I didn't mention, the subscribe event thing. This is the reason we needed this part up here. It's gonna call this method when it's loading in like features in the world. So we register these ores here, and then when we start generating it in the world, it'll just grab them from our list that we made here. All right, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and give it a run and see if everything worked out here. Alright, so here we are in the game now. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new world. call it demo, or we should create it here. Do creative, we'll call it demo, and we'll go ahead and just create the world here. So first things we're going to look for are the two overworld ores that we generated. It's going to be the earthy dirt, the earthy deposit, and the neutralis ore. So here we are, we generated in, let's look for some of our deposits. You can actually see already one of our deposits right here. And this is just like looks like it's just two over here. But anywhere where there's dirt it should generate. We could look around a little bit more and I'm sure we'll find some more. But yeah, you can already see our ore down here actually. You can see that right there. That's our ore. Of course it's generating all over the place because we put the chunks, the chunk spawning pretty high. So that's that. So now let's go to the nether. We confirmed that those two are spawning. So let's get ourselves some obsidian. Here we are in the nether. Very weird spawn here, but you can already see our ore is already generating. You can see the ores there, and the ores there. So confirm that it's generating here. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and look for a stronghold just to get to the end. So we'll get some eye vendors here, and we're going to go ahead and look for it, so I'll see you when we get there. Alright, so here we made it to the end portal. Go ahead and destroy that. Let's go ahead and drop in our tiles here, and let's go into the nether here. Alright, so let's jump in, let's look for our ore. Alright, pretty safe nether spawn here, but yeah, you can already see the stuff is just plastered everywhere. So there it is, you can see it all over. Again, pretty high spawning rate, you don't have to do it yourself at that rate. Alright, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. That does it for the video, guys. I hope you guys have success with generating it in your mod.